Hello, and in today's video I plan to show you how, at least how I would do it, but how to make a 2-axis adjustable antenna mount or just general low power mount out of parts that you can get at the hardware store and on Amazon without 3D printing. So let's get started. So first of all, we need a plan. So what I'm gonna make is, first of all, a stand out of some 2x6s. So it's gonna be a plus with one over the other. So this is gonna be top and this is gonna be bottom. So we're gonna make that, and then we're gonna have screw there, screw there, screw there, screw there. So these two pieces will create a stand that we can put the rest of our mount onto with the motors. So with the top one being 2 inches above the bottom one, we're gonna make some 6x6 squares that are going to be out of this same type of wood, and this is gonna be ×2, and these will go on the bottom of the top ones to make the ends of that level with the bottom ones. Each one of these will be 3 feet long, and of course they're 6 inches wide, which I think you can probably make this out of 2x4. Just for these, you would of course just make it a 4x4 instead of a 6x6, but I am making it out of 2x6s. So once we make that, here is gonna be the side view. So there's one, and then here is the other one with the block under it. Of course it doesn't go that far back down, but then I'm gonna cut off more. I'm gonna cut off 2 more of these 3 foot long sections. So in total we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna have 4 of these sections that are 3 foot long of the selected board top, and those will go up right here. So they'll mount sideways to this top section, and you'll be able to screw them in right there. It's gonna be one right there, it's gonna be one right there, and then we'll be able to mount our motor, our rotational motor, right there. So let's get started. Okay, so now I have all of my boards cut up. So I have the bottom, I have 2 sides, and then I have a top board, which I guess I'll uncover the top board. So first of all, we have to see where the middle is on this board. So we take our measuring tape, and we can see that whenever I measure this, it is 3 feet or 36 inches. So you have to take 36, divide it by 2, which is 18. So you have 18, so our 18-inch mark right here, I'll put a mark right there. So these boards are 2x6s, so of course it is, well, it's a little under 6 inches, but I'm assuming that it's 6. So half of 6 is 3, so then you can put your 3 at that center point right there, and then I'm gonna mark just at this beginning over here to show what the side's gonna be at whenever I mount the top. So now I have to get my top board. I'll get it over here so you can see, and we're going to mark the 18-inch point on it to get its center point. So let's see, let's do it close to the edge so we can see. So 18 right there, and then I'm gonna get the center point of our bottom board. So it's about 6 inches, 5.5. So I'll go a little under 3. So I'm gonna do 2 3/4. Right, well, I should probably put it on the alignment line so I can actually see it. So 2 3/4, that's about the center. So now I'm going to put my top board where it aligns the side with this line and the center with this line. So let me do that real quick. So right about there, and then I have my speed square, and I should be able to get this pretty level. So I'll push that against it, and then right about there. So now we need to mount the boards together, and I just have these screws right here, and you can do this with pretty much any screw. The only thing is that the screw has to be long enough that it goes all the way through the board. As you can see right here, this goes all the way through that. This is the same size. So I have a bit here on my drill, and I'll screw these in. So if you were to do this, I do like these type of screws with the star head on them, because they are less likely, like if I had something like a Phillips head and a Phillips head bit right here, let me get this in focus, you can see that whenever I turn this, it can slip. And then that will cause you to like strip out the screws and stuff, and that is a real pain. Now with these other screws, you can see it has that type of head, and whenever I put that inside of there, it locks it into place, and it's really hard to mess these up. So it makes it so easy. And these are treated, I do believe. These are, well, maybe they aren't. But anyways, I'll finish screwing this in, and then we'll start on the next step. Okay, so now I have these 4 screws in, and this is nice and secured now. So now I'm going to get my side pieces and stand them up like this. So where they are aligned with the bottom board and on the side of there. And then I will put screws directly into the sides of these boards. So here's another side. I'll go into there, and that'll go into there. So I'll get that screwed up together, and then we will begin working on the motor mount. And also, sorry about the cuts, they're a little janky. Okay, so now I have the 2 side pieces on there, and I have it down on the floor for now. But it is now time to talk about how we're going to do the motors. So I have 2 motors here. You can see they are generic, like DC 12 volt 5 RPM motors that I got off Amazon, and these are pretty cheap each one, and they do come with these little mounting brackets, but these things are flimsy. Like, look, that's not even 1/4 inch. Like, I've had these holding up things that are like super light, and they just bounce around, and they're terrible. So I found this, just generic, like it's just a piece of metal that has holes punched in it. And what I'm planning to do is, this is going to be our rotational motor. So this is going to be on the bottom, and it's going to be facing up, and it's going to rotate left or right, the whole entire thing that we're attaching. And then I'm going to have this one, I'm just going to use the bracket on this one, maybe with some more support, but I have these flanges on here that have set screws. So all I'm going to do once I mount this motor is put this in here, tighten down the set screw, and then this will rotate this motor, and then this motor will control up and down. So what we need to do first is we need to make this focus. We need to make this fit this motor. So what I plan to do is I'm going to use that hole as our starting point, and I'll use this old flange or mounting bracket to decide where the rest of the holes are going. So I'll do that real quick and be back. Okay. Oh, sorry. I still have the air conditioner on. Hold up. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, so I have now created the mounting bracket for this first axis motor. I basically widened out that center hole so that the full part, the bearing on the motor can fit through, and then it fits flush with this back piece of metal, and then I drilled out 2 holes for 2 screws to mount the motor on. So now this is much stronger than one of these little wobbly pieces of metal. So I'm going to mount this onto the board, and then I'll show you that. Okay, so here it is mounted up with the motor. So you can see the first axis motor right there will rotate this that way in that direction, and I have that connected to that flange right there. It goes to this mount with just 2 normal screws that I screwed into the metal, and then that goes to this bracket, it goes to this motor, and then this motor can control upwards and downwards. So if I was to have something like this bar, and then I mount this onto here, I would have to line up the screw and everything, but for now you can see that this can go up and down like that, and then the bottom one allows it to go left and right. So left, right, up, and then left, and then down. So let me get this hooked up to a controller, and then you can see it in action. And 3, oh, that's 1. That's 2. Okay, 3, 2, 1, boom. So there we go. I now actually have it on a joystick. So you can see that that is up, down, left, right, or right and left, and it's switched, just temporary. But anyways, that shows that that bottom motor can control side to side, and then that top motor controls up and down. And over here, I just have a Arduino Nano taking the analog inputs from this joystick, and then it sends PWM over 4 wires to this motor controller, and I just have it controlled by my power supply over here. So actually, if y'all would like a explanation of how to simply make one of these in a few minutes or so, type 1 in the comments, and I think that is going to be all for this video. Hope you liked it. Any suggestions, put them in the comments, and until next time,